Hey, what's up everyone? How you guys doing? I'm here to make another video. These are my thoughts on King of the Ring. King of the Ring matches were aired off fairly well. So, first match we had was Alberto Del Rio, Danny Bryan. That was a good open match. Danny Bryan knows how to open up a match fairly well because he can achieve the impossible. And it's very great to achieve the impossible for Danny Bryan and Alberto Del Rio. They pull off a good match. I really like how this match went. It went fairly paced, good back and forth. But for Daniel Bryan's shoulder to dive into the rope, I gotta say, that was very surprising. So, for Alberto Del Rio to nail his finishing move, it would have been cool if Daniel Bryan nailed in that bell lock and then Daniel Bryan would counter his arm lock into the bell lock. But that didn't happen. Daniel Bryan had to tap out because of his bad shoulder. So Alberto Del Rio did a good target. Good win so far. Next match we had was John Morrison against Dashing Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes did pull off a good match there. I like his dashing gimmick. I really love how it's going somewhere with it. And John Morrison, well, John Morrison was always amazing. Luckily enough, he beat Tyson Kidd. But for John Morrison to pull off a good win, it was a fairly good pace match. I really like that, but Danny Bryan Del Rio, I rate that star as 4 stars out of 5. For Morrison and Cody Rhodes, I rated a 3.5 stars out of 5. The match was good pace, and John Morrison nailed his Starship Pain. It was pretty interesting. So, next match, we had Ezekiel Jackson against McIntyre. It was kind of corny that they ended it in a double countout, so I wish we could see a bigger feud of Drew McIntyre and Ezekiel Jackson, because Drew McIntyre, I had high prospects of him. Hopefully he could overcome a giant like Ezekiel Jackson, nail his Future Shock DDT, man. It would have been great. I can picture him doing a Future Shock on Ezekiel Jackson, Drew McIntyre. But it was corny. They ended in a double countout. Both were disqualified. If it was a tie, it could have been a triple threat match, but, well, that didn't really happen. So, I think it ended a little corny. I would have seen Sheamus beat Ezekiel Jackson with his bro kick. It would have been great, but weird enough, that didn't really happen. So next match we had was Sheamus and Kofi. That match fared off good. I couldn't see Kofi pulling off the win, but usually the heels would get the bye. So Kofi got a good build-up in this match. Kofi and Sheamus. We thought Kofi was gonna pull the win. I thought he was gonna pull him the win, but Sheamus, well, luckily was able to overcome. So it was fairly great. I think it really did fare off very well. But luckily, crazy enough, Sheamus pulled off the win. But yeah, so he gets the bye. Then we have John Morrison against Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio had a huge upper hand in the match until Rey Mysterio comes out. Oh yeah, Kofi Kingston and Sheamus, I rated 4 stars out of 5. That match was very good. Ezekiel Jackson, Drew McIntyre, 2.5 stars out of 5. I thought it would have better potential, but I didn't like how that match went out for McIntyre and Ezekiel Jackson. So I thought it would have a totally different ending, but the countout was okay, so. But it would serve no purpose, because I don't think they're going to have an interpromotional feud, especially now they don't have the titles. So, moving on, we have Sheamus and, Sheamus, and yeah, I already talked about that. But yeah, we have Alberto Del Rio, Cody Rhodes and John Morrison, Alberto Del Rio and John Morrison. Alberto Del Rio gets a good upper hand in the match, but, the rough part was that Rey Mysterio comes in, gets some payback after what Alberto Del Rio did, the qualifying King of the Ring match that would help Cody Rhodes pull the win. So Rey Mysterio did the same interference that would help John Morrison get the ring. So we get a good one-on-one match for TLC. This has been a good build-up feud for Alberto Del Rio and Rey Mysterio. Let's see how this feud goes, but I think they're going somewhere with this feud for Alberto Del Rio to make the biggest heel so far. So after that, after Sheamus' bye, we get John Morrison versus Sheamus. That match was very good. I thought John Morrison was going to pull the win, and then he gets crowned King of the Ring. But that didn't happen because Sheamus pulled off a lucky win. We all thought John Morrison was going to pull out that Starship Pain at the end. Sheamus countered, then able to nail the Brook Kick, but punish him some more and nail the Powerbomb. Hopefully John Morrison doesn't turn heel. I think he's doing very great as a face, because he's been pulling off an epic feud with Morrison and Sheamus. Like, they've been doing something epic there. Just like with Rey Mysterio and Del Rio. Like, this is the work they've been getting in. It's been very good so far. And personally, for King of the Ring, this is that match fared off very well for John Morrison and Sheamus. John Morrison and Sheamus nearly off the best Starship paid, and he counted. But that match fared off very even, very good pace, very good chemistry in the match, and I have to say, that's where the match fared off fairly well. So, I gotta say this, I gotta say that match was, I have to say, it was 4.5 stars out of 5. Like, that match was very good, very excellent. I really like Sheamus and John Morrison. Those are my two of my favorites, but I was going for Morrison. But Sheamus winning, I was very excited, because now I'm glad Sheamus is back into the push that he's been getting. Instead of jobbing to Santino or Morrison, but for Sheamus, I'm just glad that he's back to getting this push into King of the Ring. So I'm hoping he goes somewhere with Sheamus, because Sheamus has been getting the biggest push he's been getting ever since joining Raw. Ever since leaving ECW, I don't know what reason he left ECW. I don't know if he got fired or whatnot, but I don't know. But for him to join Raw, he's been getting a good build-up after powerballing Jamie Noble. And, yeah, that match was good for Jamie Noble to get a huge upper hand. I mean, Jamie Noble to, like, job brutally to Sheamus that caused Jamie Noble to retire. That's somewhat half his size. But, yeah, for the most part, I really didn't like Sheamus then. I thought he was just, a bully, but for him to get this main event, I'm glad he's going up main event status. I think he really worked hard. I think he earned it. The first Irish sport to become WWE champion. I'm very glad of that. So, moving on, we have the main event. The Miz. The Miz, the celebration to become WWE Championship, and Alex Riley was like saying to the Bellas, "What are you doing with this nerd?" That was just hilarious, I have to say. It was hilarious. I was kind of laughing like, you should be with the real champ, Mike Mizanin. The Miz, hoorah! But, well, so after that, we had this feud with the Miz. We had this celebration with the Miz. Sorry for botching. But with the Miz getting this build-up as Celebration Champion, I thought we would have something big. We have the dancers, the champagne, the confetti, but luckily enough to get that. We just get Alex Riley in a pimp suit. But yeah, speaking of that suit, I was at church. That's why I was dressed up as I am now. And I was just wearing a tie, and I was dressed up sharp. And I love Jesse Sharp. But yeah, for the most part, we have the Miz's huge celebration. The celebration was good. Jerry the King Lawler comes in and interrupts it, saying the Miz, the only reason you won because you got beat up by 7 guys from the Nexus. So, I think this was his advantage, but Randy Orton made it look good. He pulled off a good match there, but Randy Orton had a bad knee, we have to admit. So, but the Miz nailed a 6 counter last week to the Skull Crusher finale, and that was it worked off pretty well. So, for the Miz, Miz's match with Jerry King Lawler had an okay build-up. Because it's his birthday, he's 61 years old. We all know that Jerry King Lawler is going to have his match for the WWE Championship, say he never got a title shot. And the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame list is because it's for the WWE Championship, because he never got a title shot. And great Hall of Famers who became WWE Championship, yeah, they're okay, but they were pretty main event status. But I think they could have been WWE champion to reach that main event status, I have to say. But moving on, Jerry King Lawler did not get his title opportunity. But I've been hearing rumors that Jerry King Lawler got his title match against Shawn Michaels. But I think he was a heel then, and then he had this feud with the guy with that jock strap over his head. Like, what's up with that? But yeah, but that's what I've been hearing rumors that he won. How are you? But that's what I hear rumors that that he had a WWE Championship title opportunity, but I think that was his only title opportunity. I have to say. So for the most part, moving on, the main event happened, and Jerry King Lawler was put off quite an upper hand. So this is where a comment on one of these viewers saying the Miz need help of 2 men. I wouldn't say that necessarily, because Alex Riley did help the Miz in that match. gave the Miz an upper hand, but he was completely knocked out from the table. Like, he's a varsity really is tough. Why was he knocked out for over 20 minutes? Like, Alex Riley looked weak there. Like, he did look weak there. The Miz didn't look that weak. But, for the most part, the Miz gets a good upper hand in the match after suplexing Alex Riley and pushing him through the table. Alex Riley, I think, shouldn't have tried to suplex him. He should have just nailed some cheap shots there. I think that's where he messed up. Yeah, I think they should have booked him where he does some cheap shots. So, he does some cheap shots to help the Miz get an upper hand halfway through the match instead of trying to knock Lawler through a table. That's where it backfired. But yeah, for a 61-year-old man like Jerry Lawler, he looked pretty tough like that. I was very impressed. So he did look impressive there in that match, but it looked good. So, but then with Michael Cole was like rooting for the Miz, and Jerry King Lawler eventually gets an upper hand where he knocks out the Miz through a table. And Miz falls through a table. Michael Cole winds up getting involved in the match. So that's the second man that gets involved in the match. CM Punk is commentating by himself. So it seemed pretty silly for CM Punk to commentate by himself because he's not really a commentator. So he did okay by himself, but Michael Cole tried to get the Miz up. Jerry King Lawler, as he climbs up the ladder, Michael Cole tries to get involved. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler tries to get up in this weird heated argument, but Jerry King Lawler was just pushed him, then he just bats him away. Like, what the heck was that? He bats Jerry the King Lawler away. Michael Cole, Jerry King Lawler bats away on Michael Cole. He's just so frustrated, but this is like halfway up there. Like, I thought he could have been up there at the time, but luckily enough, Jerry King Lawler regained his focus. And then he climbs the ladder, but the Miz cheap shots Lawler by swinging the suspended title at Jerry the King Lawler to help him gain this victory. So I didn't think he had help of two men. Alex Riley was just completely out of the picture. So, and then he got a second man of Michael Cole that also would help the Miz become WWE Championship. So it's not like they were there at once, but it did make him look weak, because I think the Miz did kind of beat Jerry the King Lawler, a 61-year-old, practically on his own. Like, I think they could have did it all the way. Like, he did strike him with the belt to help him regain the WWE Championship. But it would have been great for Jerry Lawler to become WWE Championship. But I didn't really see him winning this one. So, for the tables, ladders, and match stipulation to be in there, it was very good. So I rate this star 4 stars out of 5. And this whole the whole match for his birthday, it fared off fairly okay, but the only problem was the Miz was botching. He botched on 10 grapple moves on the chair. Like, you didn't even hear a chair noise. Like, that was the botch. Like, he did this forgot what this neck breaker thing. He does the then he does this neck breaker. I didn't even hear a chair slam. And on the suplex, I didn't even hear the chair slam, his Jerry Lawler's back slam on the chair. It's like it's like you didn't even hear it, but Michael Cole says, "Oh, what a chair shot on, what a shot on the chair, a snap suplex on the chair." Like, what's up with that? That was very botched. Like, the Miz did nail some botches, but he needs some training. Like, for him to like botch on that little match right there, it looks pretty silly, but. Yeah, the match fared off pretty well, but I think the Miz really need to work on that. But I saw him botch. Like, he made 3 botches. Or a couple, but I did saw some botches right there. Those botches were very silly, and I actually saw him botch. He botches all over the place. That's the reason why they hate the Miz so much. Like, the Miz is garbage, but they really need to work on him. Like, he nailed like some of those obvious botches, and there were some silent botches there, but. Yeah, there were some. I actually saw those botches. Those botches were easy to see. Like, he could have not execute those moves very well. Like, if using chairs involved, like, it looked very silly. So yeah, hopefully they work on him. They really need to work on the Miz, so that way he won't be botching all over the place. He can look more legit. So that's for the most part. But hey, it was a very good match. I rate the stars 4 stars out of 5. But for Alex Riley to be knocked out of the picture, he eventually gets up at the end. I think he could have got involved also. It It would make the Miz look even more weak if they were simultaneously helping Jerry the King Lawler, but luckily enough, that didn't happen. So, I'll be catching up with Monday Night Raw tomorrow to see what happens with the Miz becoming WWE Championship. I'll see how his journey goes and see if Randy Orton comes back, see how that feud goes. And Triple H and Sheamus, hopefully that feud starts to build up. As Sheamus is the King of Kings, and Triple H is another King of Kings. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be looking forward to that. So, leave your comments below, subscribe to me, and rate it, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Red Dog Stream taking you to the extreme.